Alright guys, ZFR back here again today, and this time around we are talking about Carl in Season 7 of The Walking Dead, or in other words, his actor's name, Chandler Riggs. So pretty much there's a lot of stuff going on with Carl. There's some theories, there's some rumors, all of this crazy stuff. There's a lot of questions being asked about him. So we're going to talk about some of the big stuff in this video. Before I get in this, just let me warn everybody, there may be some slight comic spoilers in this video, which will mean there's probably going to be some slight spoilers for the show eventually in this video. Not anytime soon, not anything big. I'm going to skip over a lot of the big stuff, so don't worry about me ruining some major plot in the story for you. Don't worry about that. But I'm just going to be kind of giving away a few small things that happen here and there, or that should happen, that might happen. It's not 100% confirmed at all, so let's keep that in mind. But anyway, getting into Chandler Riggs as Carl Grimes on The Walking Dead. Now, before I even get into all the stuff I want to see with him this season and stuff, like, let me just talk about the actor in general. So a lot of people, I'm hearing more and more people say this, that Chandler Riggs should improve his acting a little bit more, or that he has a lot of weak moments on scene, or just moment on, not on scene but on screen, but he just has a lot of moments that aren't as strong as the other actors I hear. So, and you know, I can kind of see what some people are saying. There are some moments where it's like, yeah, he probably could have acted that slightly better. He probably could have put a little more emotion or whatever into that. But you have to look at it like this. Alright, now this is actually something, I'm going to compare this to kind of something I heard one of my English teachers say once. Pretty much we were going over, I think, stories or fairy tales or something in class, and the structure of them or something along those lines. And pretty much my teacher, she was talking about how in a lot of fairy tales or a lot of stories that are about children, or that have children as the main characters, like, they tend to usually be orphans or something along those lines, so they can get more room to shine. Because, you know, if the parent is there, the parent is kind of always telling the kid what to do. The parent is kind of, you know, listen to me, do this, do that, like, stay here, I'll keep you safe, all that. You know, the kid doesn't really have to do as much. And I kind of feel like that's what happens to Carl on The Walking Dead a lot. Because Rick is always there, ready to destroy the first thing that even blinks at his son in the wrong way. Like, we don't really get to see Carl have to handle a lot of stuff on his own by himself. Like, I mean, think about all the big moments Carl Grimes has had on the show. Think about when he pulled the gun on Ron. Think about when, what was the other one I was looking for? Think about when all those scenes when he was out in the woods with Enid. Think about when he found Deanna's walker. Think about way back when Rick was sick and he had to kind of go on his own for like a day or two or something like that. Think about all those episodes where we really got to see his talent as an actor kind of shine. And there goes my phone blowing up. Sorry guys, but think about all of those times we got to see his talent kind of shine. All of those were moments where Rick wasn't around. So yeah, like, I think that has a lot to do with it also, because, you know, when Rick's around, what's he really going to do? What are they really going to give Carl? Because they're trying to keep it somewhat believable, and Rick is just going to always be like, you know, do as daddy says, you know, like. But yeah, you know, that's kind of how it is, and that kind of makes sense because that's what a real parent would do in this situation. But anyway, I should get that out of the way first. Just kind of talking about his acting skills and how I think you should look at it and stuff. Like, But I do think he has a lot of talent as an actor, because like I've said, we've seen him sign on screen before. We've seen what he can really do. So yeah, he just needs more room. I feel like they need to start giving him more stuff where he has to do it on his own, where he's not by Rick's side the entire time. But anyway, moving on to the bigger question people want to hear about is, what are they doing with Carl and Negan this season? Like, I know a lot of people are wondering, is Carl still going to get the comic stuff from the comics? I mean, is he still going to get the stuff with Negan from the comics? I meant to say, is he still going to get all of that? Even though Daryl is there, and it looks like they're giving Daryl that stuff now. Now, here's my thoughts. It's starting to look like, no, he's not going to get that, which is a really sucky thing for Carl fans and for the character in general, because if you are a Carl fan in the comics, like that part of the comics was probably one of your favorite parts, you know, where he had all those interactions with Negan and stuff. But they still could do it on the show, because don't forget, all of that doesn't start until the first time Negan comes to Alexandria to collect, you know, their tribute or whatever. Pretty much, it could still happen, and if it does happen, we'll know it's going to happen this Sunday in the episode 2 of season 7. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, but it kind of looks like they're not going to do it, but I hope they still do it, or do something similar to it. I still want like a really big scene, or like a really decent sized episode where we get to see Carl being a little badass and being a little prick towards Negan. Like, I want to see that. Because, you know, I feel like that's what really started to get me amped about Carl's character in the comics. But anyway, moving on to some other stuff. I'm also hearing this little rumor go around. I'm not sure how big of a rumor this is. It might have just been one person that's said this so far. I'm not sure. But all I know is that it is something that is getting started up. There's like this theory that Carl hasn't cut his hair because way back when, like, Lori was the last person to cut his hair, and he's doing it for sentimental reasons, letting it grow out. That's not it. For those of you who don't know, and like I said, slight comic spoiler here, but not a big one. Carl is supposed to stop wearing that eye bandage pretty soon, actually, in the show. Like, if it's following the same path as the comic book, like, it's supposed to happen pretty soon where he just stops wearing that bandage. Like, it's probably going to be this season, sometime this season. He's just going to have all of that exposed, and there's going to be like nothing there but a big hole where his eye got blown off. So yeah, they're going to, like, that's going to be, you know, they're going to have to use prosthetics and all that for that. And in order to kind of, you know, take it down a notch on all the stuff they have to do to prepare that every day he comes in, like, they're probably going to have his hair go over it a little bit. So that's why he's growing the hair and stuff out. I've just seen a few people talk about that. A few people kind of get annoyed at it even. That's the reason they're letting his hair grow out, because he's going to have that eye exposed, and they're probably going to want to cover it up a little bit, so you know, every time they show Carl, he's not like crazy hard to look at. Because if they do it like it is in the comics, let me tell you, it is not going to be pretty. It was pretty gruesome to look at in the comics. I mean, you could see his skull and everything. Like, so yeah, hopefully that's what's going to happen there. And hopefully they do find a way around that, because I'm sure, like, it's going to be hard to pick up new viewers every time, because every time they see Carl, they're like, Jesus Christ, look at that kid's face. But yeah, like, I'm guessing that's what's going to happen with the hair there. So yeah, other than that, guys, like, Carl doesn't have too much coming for him this season. Like, I mean, this season is going to be kind of, I don't know how to say it. Like, I almost want to say like a Kickstarter. It's going to be a season about, you know, growing. It's going to be a season building up to All Out War. It's going to be a build-up season. And you're going to kind of get to see them go to all these different communities and stuff, focus on a lot of new characters. So it's not going to be that much stuff for Carl this season. Next season, though, hopefully we get to see a pretty cool scene with him. I'm not going to talk about that. It's another scene with him and Negan. I'm sure the comic fans can think of what I'm talking about. It involves Lucille. God, I hope they do that. I hope they do that in the show. They have to, right? But yeah, like, I hope we get to see that. There's going to be so much going on next season. This is going to be crazy. Then after that, we are going to start to see a lot more Carl. So if you're a Carl fan, like season 9, season 10, maybe even season 11, like, those are going to be the seasons for you the most. Like, if you're a Carl fan, that's when you're really going to start to get to see his character Son, because by that point in the story, his character is going to be doing some interesting stuff. He's going to have some interesting things going on with him, and I can't wait to see all that. I can't wait. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like, you know, I just wanted to do this video on Carl Grimes because I feel like he's one of my favorites on the show. I feel like a lot of other people do like him, but we all just want to see him get more, you know, attention on the show and stuff. And it's kind of hard because he is a lot older than he is in the comics, which kind of does limit some of the stuff they did from the comics. It kind of makes it a little more, you know, like, I mean, it's not, it kind of, you know, takes away from that amazement at all the stuff he can do because he's not as old. But it's still going to be awesome to see him doing all this crazy stuff. So I can't wait for that. But anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave likes and comments down below and tell me what you guys think. And I will see you guys on the next video. ZFR out, guys.